Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers seems to be the guy that the Steelers are going after. Why? I don't know. Do I necessarily like it? You know my feelings on it. First off, anybody that can help the Steelers win football games, I am for. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your background, your political, religious belief. I don't care. As long as you show up and do your job and don't cause problems and help the Steelers win, fine. So be it. So I can get past anything. I shouldn't say anything because that's not true. I can get past most things with people. As long as they're helping us win, okay, fine. Let's do that. So all the talk with Aaron Rodgers, do we want him? Do we not want him? Let's take a deep dive and break down why I think that it's not as bad as what some of us think that it could be. Now, number one, I think Mike Tomlin is the one who's really pushing for this. There's been rumblings all over the room. Gary Duliak basically came out and said, this is a Mike Tomlin thing, and that Mike Tomlin is the guy that is pushing for Aaron Rodgers. And for the people out there that still don't want to think that Mike Tomlin has say so on this roster, here's your proof. If Mike Tomlin's the guy that's behind it, other people are not, here's your proof that Mike Tomlin has absolute say in who is on this football team and who is not. Now, is he the ultimate decision maker? I think that's probably Art Rooney II. But at the same time, and I think Art Rooney II is also more involved than what a lot of people may think that he is. That point I also want to make clear. Look, the Rooneys in the past, everybody hasn't always been so hands-on and involved. I think Art Rooney II is more involved than what maybe Steeler fans are used to or think that he is. I think that he is. That might not be the perception that's been put out there, but I think he is a little bit more hands-on than his predecessors, people. I believe that. Now, here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers. He's going to get the ball out of his hand, people. That's his trait. Get the ball out of his hand, get it out quick. He's accurate with the football. When he does get the ball out of his hand, he is extremely accurate with the football. So take note. Those are all good things. Get it out of his hand quick. And is he accurate? Yes and yes. He's also outstanding pre-snap. That's the thing. At the line of scrimmage, Aaron Rodgers can get you in and out of a good play, or out of a bad play and into a good play. Number one, because he is smart, regardless of what some people want to believe. He is a super smart guy. There's not going to be too many defenses, if any, or coverages that he hasn't seen and been able to figure out. And the one thing that he's going to want is to make sure that guys are going to be where they're supposed to be. Now, from that standpoint, you might think, well, he's going to be a jerk about it. He's an ass. Well, what leaders aren't jerks? What leaders aren't an ass? Tom Brady was a jerk. Michael Jordan was a jerk. Peyton Manning was a jerk when it came to holding people accountable. That's part of the job. That is literally part of the description. Hold people accountable. Sometimes you got to be a dick about it. Everything's not fun and games, especially on a football field when live bullets are coming. And of course, I don't mean real bullets, people, so relax. But the bottom line is, yeah, quarterbacks from time to time are going to have to be an asshole. And I don't think there's any problem with Aaron Rodgers doing that. Now, does he go overboard with throwing guys under the bus in the media? Yeah. Now, that's not something that we're going to tolerate. But that's probably something that the head coach is going to have to figure out. If the head coach is the one that wants to bring him here, that's probably a conversation that's going to have to be had. Hey, man, we don't do that here in Pittsburgh. You can be mad. You can be frustrated all you want. But we're not calling people out. We're not doing that in the media. So if you feel like you need to do that, we'll do it behind closed doors. But in the media, we're not doing that. I also believe Aaron Rodgers would be good for George Pickens. Remember when I just said being where you're supposed to be? George Pickens won't be able to run those half-ass routes if he's not going to be where he's supposed to be with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to hold him accountable. And here's the thing. If Pickens isn't where he's supposed to be, Aaron Rodgers just won't throw him the football. That's what we have to understand. Because I believe Rodgers will throw it to the guy that's open. But if you're not supposed to, if you're not where you're supposed to be, I'm not even looking your way. So that will help George Pickens become a better receiver. I believe that. I also think that he still has some arm talent, people. He still has arm talent. Now, is it the same arm talent that he had 5 years ago? No. Let's not kid ourselves. 41 years old, you're not going to. But he still has upper echelon arm talent as far as this league is concerned. And I also don't think that he wants to go out on the note that he went out on last year. I mean, that was a disaster with the Jets, an absolute disaster. Head coach fired, general manager fired, guys getting cut left and right, just a total rebuild of the Jets because they basically went all in with Aaron Rodgers and it didn't work. Now, is he only to blame? No, you know how I am. Every one person isn't the only guy to blame. That's never the case. However, is he a big part of it? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I mean, it started in the offseason, not showing up to a mandatory mini camp to go to Egypt. Who does that? I mean, and that won't be tolerated. Look, we can say a lot of things about Mike Tomlin, and he gives players a lot of leeway. He does, and it drives us insane. But do you think that he's going to allow the new quarterback of his team, to just not show up for mandatory minicamp? I would guess not. And I think Rodgers wants to go out on a better note. I would think that he wants to go out on a much better note than what it was with the New York Jets. That's just my feeling. That's just my gut feeling that he doesn't want to be looked upon as, okay, that's my final, nail in my playing career's coffin is what happened in New York. We've got a life raft here for you. All you got to do is get on. So, again, I'm not necessarily saying that he's the answer. I'm just saying it's all not bad. And if he's going to be the quarterback, we got to start looking at positives. That's all I'm saying. We got to start looking at some positives. Let's go to the poll question. So the poll, with ample cap space available, which strategy do you believe most beneficial for the Steelers moving forward? Drafting a QB, spending in free agency, focusing on player development, or trading for a star player? So what do you believe is the best available strategy for the Steelers moving forward?